Hey guys, welcome back to the What's Next podcast, coming to you from beautiful Monterey, California, right here on the beach, brought to you by livewelltherapeuticmassage. And what an amazing day we've had. Today we've got Miss Doan. I'm so excited to have her on the program. How are you?
Awesome. How are you?
Cool. We've had so many different conversations, just in the massage room, like massage people do, but I don't have any real details.
Yeah.
So tell me, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Fresno, California.
Fresno, yeah.
Hot. Super hot.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Vietnam and a refugee. We came over when I was 8 months old.
Okay, sure.
And my family settled from that point in Fresno, and we were farmers. My dad was a nautical engineer, but that doesn't translate when you move the country. Yeah. So, so we grew veggies and fruits, Japanese cucumbers, Asian pears.
Something that'll grow in the heat.
Then winters, we had winter veggies.
Oh, true.
So it has to be year-round,
Yeah.
Yeah, so hot. I understand labor.
Yeah. Were they working out somebody else's field, or were you able to get some land?
No, it's our land. It's our farm. We had a couple farms, and I understand there when the sun is out or even when it's not, nature doesn't stop.
Nope.
You don't have a day off.
Neither
Except when it's flooding rain, but
Yeah.
even still, you're having to check on your crop, make sure you don't have any disastrous things happening. So it's 24/7 every day. There's no clocking out with that.
No. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in somebody else's hands at some point.
Exactly.
So your dad was in charge, or what?
Yeah.
It was a bunch of uncles and.
No, it was my dad. Back in Vietnam, we were a successful family, and we had hectares of land.
Okay.
We had 10 hectares, which now is the size of the city.
Yeah. Holy cow.
And back then, it was wilderness, and we had coffee and tea plantation. We had an indigenous tribe that lived in the hills.
Okay.
That did not speak Vietnamese, that spoke their own tribe language.
Yeah.
My brother would live up there in the summers and come home
kidding.
speaking a language we didn't understand. Elephants, durian, all the crazy stuff. So I think my dad is very much an individual, doesn't like to work for others. So coming to the States, I mean from the beginning, he was cutting lawns. He was doing anything to put food on the table for us.
Sure.
But the end goal was, how do we, make a living?
Acquire land.
Yeah, what's the, how do I make a new life here, but where I'm not clocking in and out.
Yeah, right.
Where can be his own person,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you had all those hectares over there. Was he actually farming it?
No, because he was a nautical engineer. He did a lot of work in Japan on the boats in the Navy, and I think that was just part of, our assets and what we did.
Right.
But it wasn't, it produced, but I don't think he, not that he was out there toiling.
Did he still own it after the war? Or?
Oh, no. You guys, when the communists came, what was yours was not yours. We were, we lived in Saigon, right?
Outside
proper.
Saigon.
We lived in a nice area. I understand that our neighbors were dignitaries and parts of government. So we're in a nicer area. But when communism took over and the fall of Saigon, what was yours was not yours anymore.
Right,
period. Right. Your land, your property, if they want to come in your property and kick you out, it's not yours anymore.
Right. 74 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was born in 74, we ran in 75. So
I see, right.
It was and for most people, what I don't think most people understand is that time period of 74, 75, the exodus of the Vietnamese people, majority never felt that it was permanent. We always felt that it was seek shelter, and when the Americans and the forces would help fight the communists and win over and be free again, we would return back to homeland. But it didn't go that way. So then we were just displaced. So for us...
so after 74, they thought that we were coming back.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Right.
I would say 76,
really?
77, once it
Never
actually
heard that.
was come truly taken over,
Sure.
Then there was no. But up the rest of the fleeing time, up up until that period,
Yeah.
everyone thought we could return because, hey, we just got to seek safety. We can't be here.
Right.
We want to be raped and pillaged. We need to get out of here, be safe.
Right, sure.
And how do we, and then once, it chills out,
Come to
the
America,
forces.
chill
No, not
out,
even America. No, we were
and then
in
go
the
back?
Philippines. A lot of people were in
really? I
the
see.
outer
Yeah, okay.
islands. So a lot of was military help. A lot was first aid. A lot of church groups
Sure.
was helping this. So a lot of people are, different. We were in the Philippines where we ended up at. So we're in Guam. I hear many other little areas.
Yeah.
U.S. territories. And it was refugee camps, meaning temporary, because
Of course.
they're not really allowing us to go to America per se. So let's help these people and, temporary.
Right.
So a lot of times people were there in refugee camps for years.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for us, and you have to think proximity, we're close to Vietnam. We're not in American lands. We're here.
Right.
So we're, and with other people of our country. So we're like, oh yeah, we're going back. It's cool. We hear,
I see, right.
it's okay.
Right.
They're going to fight. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
And that's when, no, it's over. And then for us, we were lucky that we were sponsored by a church group. And
cool.
we came over with American Red Cross and them and into Virginia. And we were in like military-style barracks where they
I
had all
see,
this.
yeah. Sure, right.
And it was the first time my family experienced snow.
How long were you in the camp?
Oh, I
in the
want to
Philippines
say...
till you were like 3, 4, or?
I want to say the Philippines, if I want to understand, I want to say a few months, 6 months maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not a whole lot of time. It's a cool story. We were split up. Our family, my mom had a few of us, my dad had a few of us. It was really crazy. My mom would say stories where it's just, like the running the bulls situation where people are just fleeing. And some mothers would have their babies and papooses on their back.
Sure.
And babies flying out, not even knowing they
Really?
don't have their child with them anymore.
Wow.
And she's like, oh no, she switched to put into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
front.
right.
And, it was just really a melee of time.
Sure.
And so it was really tough. So we got split up. My brother was sick, so my dad had to find resources. And thankfully, my dad, with his nautical connections, were able to find us different vessels to get out.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
But we weren't connected. I was with my mom and my couple of siblings in Philippines and didn't know at all, no cell phones, where other half of our family is and if they're alive or where they are.
Right.
And one day, months later, my mom sent my sister down to the first aid line for provisions. Mm-hmm. And in front of her was my dad. I'm going to cry because I love the story.
Right.
And it's like, she's standing there and she sees this figure and it's like, Dad? And he turns around and it's boom.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And neither one of them knew they were going to be there.
No, because we had no idea where, there's no, it's the 70s. We don't have
Right.
communication.
She must have really focused on him.
And just
Wow,
like
how cool.
happens to be, you're in line waiting for food.
Yeah,
and
right.
That's my
Oh my
dad,
God, he looks like, wait, he is.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it was wild. It was really wild, yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's a cool story.
Yeah. So who was that? Your sister? Or your...
That was my older sister.
Yeah. Right. So how many siblings you have?
I have
Some with your
family,
mom, some with your dad. So you must have been
right. Exactly. I think the most youngest kids went with my mom. The oldest
Sure,
went with
yeah,
my dad.
right.
But yeah, it was
6 of you, or how many?
total of 7 kids.
7.
So yeah, 3 brothers, 3 sisters.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I've got one friend that's a couple of friends actually that they're half Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And they were saying that people would stop by their parents' house and try to buy them so they could get out of the country because they were half.
Right.
Oh,
wow.
They would just say, oh, this is my child and half American. It was like, wow, it's a brutal time.
It is.
It
is.
People are doing anything to get out,
No. Fast forward, I'm probably in 7th, 8th grade in Fresno. Evening, 8, 9 o'clock. I won't say like Family Feud's on the TV kind of night,
right.
And knock on the door, come out, answers as a police officer with a young Vietnamese boy around my size. And he's like, is your mom and dad home? Running to get mom and dad. And there's this boy. And because he shows up at the Fresno airport with just our address and a number.
No way.
Literally.
What?
From Vietnam. I don't know how he gets to Fresno airport. The police take him over.
Onto the plane?
Yeah.
Wow.
To our place. And my dad's asking questions like, who are you? What family are you with? And basically, he's a village boy or someone, neighbor, second friend, like not relative to us.
Right.
Yeah, that's literally what you just said. It's
That's crazy.
like, how can I get my,
Right.
yeah, a better life, future, safety, all those things.
Did that end up being like a little brother to you or
No,
something?
I mean,
What happened?
we got him into school,
Right.
and then we eventually, of course, found out where his family was and reconnected.
And worked that get them back over
Yeah,
here
of course,
something.
or like to his
cool.
relatives or whoever
Right,
here
right.
that he needed to get to.
Fortunate for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course we took care of him.
Right, of
and
course.
made the connections
Come
through
on,
the
right. Help him get the paperwork going.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
sure.
Like, take him to school with me,
Yeah,
help him translate and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So you went to school in Fresno. You went to
Yeah.
high school there, barely.
Bullard High, Bullard Knights,
Yeah.
played softball
Represent.
almost all,
Softball, yeah.
Yeah, junior years to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not shortstop, second and third was my positions, yeah.
Those are the most athletic, probably,
Yeah, I like that.
aren't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
shortstop.
Yeah.
I didn't play baseball for very long because my eyes were terrible, but
I like third, although it's a little scary being on the line with those line drives, but it was fun.
yeah, right,
yeah.
right. But if you can field them,
Yeah.
you're the star of the show.
Yeah, it was
right?
fun.
For sure.
Right.
So I know you as an inventor.
Yes.
I don't know much about what all you've invented. Tell me a little bit about what got you going, and maybe I can make a product and bring it to market.
Sure.
How did that come to you?
Well, it's a long-winded, but I'll try to make
I
it
know,
not too
right?
long.
Well, there's so many people that do that, but it's such a terrible road,
Yeah.
and it's terrible, and it's so expensive.
Right.
And most people are like, "Oh, it's just not worth it." I've been down the road a couple times, so tell me what got you through all that.
As far as progressing and not stopping, that is passion.
Yeah.
I think when people go into business and they do it for whatever reason, but
Yeah.
they're not deep-rooted passion,
Yeah.
it's easy to fall off.
Yeah.
You don't get your goals, your money's not there, because those are things that can change, but when it's in there, it's hard to steer away. Whatever goes wrong, you're still going to come back and try to find a way.
Right.
That, I think, indeed, for entrepreneurs, if you don't have the passion, that deep failure is accepted
Right.
and known.
Keep failing.
I think I was there for
Sure.
most. Fear holds you back. Fear of the unknown, fear of what if, no. And then you won't make that step. But then once you can get past that, because you can say, all these lines, fear is this, fear is that,
Yeah,
once you
right.
you look at, but it takes a lot for you to actually take that step.
Yeah.
So
right.
those are just lines. But once you can take that step and actually do cross that line,
Sure.
and hopefully have some perseverance and passion, and you will have bumps.
Sure.
And you will have issues, but what you learn as an entrepreneur is that how you resolve them.
Right.
You don't surrender. You don't, of course you'll take a moment to panic or whatever it is,
Sure.
but you're really like, so now seasoned in, when things happen, it's a pickle, I'm like, okay, what's the solution?
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. Like, how do I? It's not even like, stress. It's like,
Sure.
okay, how do we deal with this?
Right.
I'm not going to waste time on the stress. I'll do it at night later, but right now,
Your
Okay.
end goal must be just rock solid.
well, because what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Fold?
Like, what am I going to do to get there?
Yeah.
What's the next thing? Oh, it's a bump. Okay.
Right.
How do I get around to get there?
Real easy. I have a shipment coming out. My logistics sent it to the wrong port.
Great.
It's supposed to go to Canada. It's not in the U.S. Great. Okay. It's on you. What do we do? So how do
Right.
we resolve this?
Right.
Maybe it might cost me a little financial, whatever, but you have to resolve it. You still have to make it okay and continue on. And
Yeah.
then you learn from experience. So those are things like you learn, like, okay, it's going to happen.
Sure.
And so it's almost like welcome now. It's like, it's not really welcome, but it's okay.
Right.
I know it's going to happen, and we're not perfect,
That's so hard about what's
Yeah.
so hard about the first time you do it. Tell me about the first product that you brought to market or tried to, I guess.
Right.
I'm
That's
sure you had
real
some
easy.
failures.
It's this one here. It's the benjamincone. So what I do, guys, is I manufacture pre-rolled cones that are luxury. So we put a wood tip or a glass tip on them, and they're hand rolled. And for you to stuff or pack with your own herbs, just like a cigarette or a tube that's empty that you can pack yourself. So how do I get to this? Is when I first began this journey, I was on social media, and this is Baby Yoda. This is called smokable art, creative rolling. You would smoke it out of the tip here. And this is about 4 ounces of smokable herb that you would burn from here. So there's this little enclave community of creators out there with cannabis and herbs, and we make this type of art. I became Insta-famous. Here you go, Steve.
See that?
Go ahead.
I was thinking it was kind of like
It's made with hemp wrap and raw paper, but inside is filled with herb. I became Insta-famous doing this type of art, and then I was starting to receive free materials from companies, from free papers, free tips, free things, to help promote. And then in turn, I would make them and post them. And I thought, gosh, I have something here. I have visibility. How do I monetize this? I love this, and cannabis, and I've been part of it since high school in different ways. I've grown it. I've done, with music, I think it's integral. But it's part of my my life. And so how wonderful. How can I monetize this? Because I know the wave is coming. I know it's become illegalized. I know it's getting decriminalized. And people like it. Listen to the people. So what happened was for one of our 420 events, I asked the event organizer for a booth in exchange for some art and hype, and he agreed. It was actually on 420 Day on a Saturday in Adelanto, the middle of the desert between Vegas and LA. And I sold out. What I did was I made these cones because people I was hand rolling them, but how do I make something to sell that I can ship anywhere in the world, right? Because I don't have a license. I don't have that legality, and I don't want to be illegal either. And so
exactly.
I literally went and made this by hand. The first few hundred, the tubes I bought off eBay, staples for the stickers, home cut razoring, the little bands here, everything homespun. And I came out to the show with as much as I could make and a variety I could make with a little ticker sheet, like a prison sheet, and I sold out of this benjamincone in an hour and a half.
Wow.
It was the first booth I did. I borrowed every cent to help, buy the booth structure and everything. And the crowd around the booth was at least 5-10 deep. It was all day long. And you look around to my other booth mates, and they're just like, what's going on over there?
They're over getting in line.
No one had seen this. No one had seen this that they could buy, and then the art. And it was... I turned to my best friend, who's now my manufacturing partner. I was like, I think we have something.
Clearly. And
on the drive home, it was nonstop, just chitter chatter, just like, how do we do that? And so that was the beginning. And the second, there's many pivotal points, right? That was the pivotal point. Second is, how do we scale this?
Right.
How do I do this? Do I just call a number? Who does this? No one's done this before. I was the first to market with this style of luxury cones. And lo and behold, my best buddy, he's like, I knocked up a girl in Vietnam. I'm in love. I want to move back there. I don't know what to do. How do I make a living? And he's a professional, owns a contracting business in Palo Alto. So the highest, level of attention to detail out there with his clients. And I'm like, well, do you think you could run a team in Vietnam? Could you call your girl and some of her family and sisters, and I can call some of my distant relatives to come out and try? Yeah. Make some cones? Mm-hmm. He was like, he has no idea. It's like, you talk to them because it's the foreign language too. He's like a white guy. He's like, I don't know. You talk to them.
They're gonna think I'm taking advantage of them.
Yeah. So I sent him materials on his flight, and would have messenger video meetings at night and started making YouTube tutorials, private ones, so they can reference anytime. And we've made the first thing with them, which is a woven, which is this is an art roll. It takes about an hour to make. And what this is hemp wrap interwoven with strips of 24 karat rolling paper and juicy J rolling paper. So everything here is rolling paper. It's not anything that's not safe per se to smoke. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn that off. So the team made this first, and we would work together and vet it, and then it was workable. I flew back, trained them in person.
You speak Vietnamese?
Yeah,
clearly.
But broken.
Yeah, right.
Very
Enough
broken.
To get through.
Yes, I think the more time I spent there, I got better.
Yeah,
but if you challenge me to speak a full sentence of Vietnamese only, it would be challenging.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I can read menu.
You can
Otherwise, I'm illiterate.
what they're saying, probably, or no?
Yes, half.
Slow down.
Because
Right.
it's slow, and also their language isn't. It's modernized, right? I know proper mom and dad language. I don't
see.
know,
Right.
30-year-old,
That's
30-year-old
funny.
slang like we do now. Like if they say hype,
Right.
I'm like, I don't know hype in Vietnamese, or you
That's
all,
funny.
whatever language they use. So
Yeah.
it took a bit.
There was some trial and error in here. This is very well designed,
Yes.
type of thing here. Because am I on camera?
You right now?
Because it's got the glass tip. You didn't give me the one with the wooden tip. That's cool too, as a carpenter. But I like the glass tip. The other one had more of a shape to it. This one's got maybe a tamper or something, I guess as you would call it.
Yeah.
And you leave the inner paper in there until it's done, and then pull that out, or is that just keeping it shaped?
It's just keeping it shape.
Okay,
You'd
so you
wanna
pull that
it
out before you
pack
put it in
or
there,
as you
okay.
can pull it in increments if you want
Oh, okay,
to. You
yeah,
can do
that's a
that
good
too.
idea, right?
Yeah.
So it's well thought out.
Yes,
A lot of trial and error here.
There is.
Right?
Exactly.
You're
There
like,
is.
nope, that's not going to work.
Right.
Right.
And how does it come safely? And we want it to work for anyone with arthritic problems or this and that. It's it's definitely trial and error. And for me, with my name growing in the industry, like how do I keep the quality 10 of 10, like as if I rolled it for them.
Yeah.
That's my intention. Every
Right.
time you buy a product from me, it's like as if I rolled it for you.
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
I tell my team there's a grading scale, 9s or 10s only. This is how I make decisions now. It's funny. I'll look at something. You can just show me anything, and I'll be like, "What do you think of this?" And it's a knee-jerk reaction for me. So if I go, "Huh," if I look at whatever it is, I go, "Whoa, wow, this is so cool. Oh my God, this is great." Or do I look at it and go, just that, just that, what, you're going to be either flying, this is so cool,
Yeah.
or that any touch of it, then no, it's out.
Really?
So if you hum something,
Yeah.
because that's what your customer is going to do.
Sure.
If you yeah. No,
Yeah, right.
that cannot come out. When you pull out a product, a Luxe Roll product, it better be like, oh yeah, look at this. Oh, I've never seen this before. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that's what
Yeah.
So when I hand people things, I look at them. I'm looking
Yeah.
at your eyes. I'm looking at your reaction.
Right.
That's the purest way to judge, like how people are taking that
Sure.
or interpreting your product.
Let me see the checkerboard one.
Sure.
What would you say it was?
It's called a woven, and
It's
that's
got
my
taste to the paper, or what
the
did you
blue.
say the blueberry does?
The blue is from Juicy Papers,
Uh-huh.
and it's cotton candy.
It's cotton candy.
The blue. That's my favorite roll for me to smoke out of everything I make, because it is just so elegant. And it has a touch of cotton candy. You don't know what it is, but it enhances your flower.
Yeah, just
so it's just a
something
touch
sweet.
of sweet,
Yeah.
but not all the time. It's just that
It
little
looks
hits.
darker. Is it more of a?
No, well,
Cigar paper,
the
or-
wrap is hemp.
Is it okay?
It's hemp wrap. And as far as the gold, it's made by Shine Papers, and it's 24 karat. That's binded on the backing of a super thin rolling paper.
I see.
And at smoking temperatures, the gold will not melt. It's not hot enough. So what you'll see is, if you do not ash, a checkerboard pattern, and with a little gold square
Oh, that's
sitting on
cool.
it. So it's just beautiful to enjoy,
Yeah.
tasty,
Sure.
yet non-offensive in any way, or non-imparting like something that you wouldn't want in your product.
Sure.
But also it looks beautiful. I call it a look back factor.
Yeah.
And you know, I have people ask me, well, why do you smoke with a wood tip or glass tip? And I always tell people, well, you go to the store, you buy a nice bottle of wine on a Friday, you go home, and do you put it into a wine glass or do you put it into a red Solo cup or, you know, paper cup?
Yeah.
You're going to put it in a wine glass,
Yeah.
and you're going to swirl. You're going to have a little look back factor, and
Sure.
you set it back down and enjoy your meal or your company. And it's part of the experience. It's elevated. There's a time and place, what I call a paper cone, which is the standard what you see at dispensaries.
Sure,
or
right,
paper. But to me, that's like a concert. Like if you go to a show, you get in a Budweiser, you know, wine cooler kind of thing. Yeah, I don't care what that thing's in, but if I'm spending a little more and I'm, you know, I'd like to enjoy.
Step up. It is.
Yeah.
If you're gathering with people, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't use it on it every day for sure.
Yeah, not this one for sure.
No, not that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think I would probably smoke too much if I made them that big. That's
Well,
for
they're meant to share at that size.
That's
Yeah.
for sharing, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun. So what was the next step? You got back from the show and you were like, oh my God, we just sold out. What do we do?
Yeah. So
At that point, do you already have a, well, you've already got labels, obviously, but do you have a trademark? Do you have a...
no, I mean, at that point, it didn't have this logo. It was a font logo I bought.
Okay.
I mean, that's how homespun. Like, I
Sure,
didn't have a
right.
designer. I was like, I would go and like find a cool font. I would work with Luxe Rolls, and if you look at my, you know, earlier stuff on social, it had a font, a different font. From that point, yeah, it was all systems go. Like designing, getting a logo made, getting everything set, and you know, getting your business set, and you know, really be prepared, and then finding manufacturing sources at scale. Because how do we price this? What is out there? And you know, when you buy tubes or glass tips, you know, you have MOQ, minimum order quantities, and you know, it goes down the more you buy. But if you can only afford 10,000 versus 100,000, you know, there's a whole thing with it.
right.
As far as manufacturing, producing something, you know, it's a lot to figure out financially. Yeah. So a lot of that. So while we're trying to assemble a team and figure out, so the woven thing was, we could do it. And then when I flew back, we had a team, and then we were trying to teach people how to make cones, because now that's our product, you know, to scale. Like, so we need to make thousands of these. So how do we do that? And that was really tough. I came home from that trip discouraged, thinking, oh, we can't do this. It doesn't look uniform, not right. It doesn't have that pristine touch. And my buddy was like, no, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And so we stepped it up. You know, I don't want to give too much trade secrets, so we're able to figure out how to make it look right and how to scale it, and everything's hand rolled. There's no machines in what we do. It is literally hand rolled, and so. In that time of building and training, we're doing design, logo, and box, you know, designing our boxes. This is our third box iteration in 4 years. We've had many things. And I think also people have a problem with entrepreneurs when, like, you know, it's not perfect, so they can't put it out.
Right.
So it's not right. And it's never going to be perfect, guys. I'll tell you that. It's never going to be perfect. Just put it out. Because every time you put it out, you're going to find how you can fine-tune it and figure out, ooh, I'll do this better next time. So don't wait.
Just do it, right?
Just do it.
And improve it.
Yeah, just know that you'll improve it, you know, and know that it's okay. Again, you know, the fear factor.
Sure.
No, because that time passing, someone else could come with that product, or, you know, it would maybe not be viable in that marketplace anymore, you know. Seize it while it's hot.
Right.
Do it. Just get it, and then
improve
tweak
it as you go.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Just get it. Yeah. Well, not even fake. Just do it. Just get it there.
Just do it. Right.
And then tweak, find, you know, perfect it as you go. It'll never be perfected.
That's what they say about podcasts too. Just keep putting it out there. Just do it.
Exactly.
Don't
you guys
sit
have
there
a great
and
setup.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's like the Japanese phrase kaizen. It's like always. There's no perfection. Just working towards perfection in the movements and getting finer and you know, more perfect with those things. Yeah. It's a life thing. So yeah.
I want to talk about the white label, but walk me through a little bit about the manufacturing How do you find a group of people or a place or, okay, I've had this product.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to go to a place that makes papers that, you're going to have to assemble somebody how do you do that?
Right. So back again to my best buddy who is a contracting background, and through him, assembled a team, and from family, friends, mine, his, and he built a annex next to his house.
What's that?
A little building,
Okay.
So basically, he has property in
Sure.
Vietnam, and so being what he does, he can resurrect things very quickly, resurrect things very quickly. So
Right.
it was easy to do. At first, of course, it was just we cleared out an extra room in his home. Then as we grew, we built. So our facility now is on his property, and we're building
In Vietnam?
In Vietnam,
And it's all being made there.
Yes,
There's no
everything-
manufacturing here in America.
very little.
Okay,
What's
okay,
made
I see.
here could be very high end, or together. So maybe they'll make one portion, they'll bring it here, and I have rolls here to
Sure.
finish some finish.
Okay.
But what you're seeing here is all made in Vietnam.
So you were talking earlier about, oh man, a shipment ended up, it was supposed to be in Canada and it's not. And
Yes.
that came from Vietnam.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Right.
Yeah. And gosh, it is so hard, I want to say, to do what I do. I'm not afraid of competition, because if you came up like I did, not knowing a thing about business,
Yeah. Right.
logistics, shipping,
Legalities is
customs,
what I guess the main thing is.
customs.
You're not going to put a patent on a rolling paper, clearly. You're not going to put a patent on a cone, but how do you protect yourself from
Right.
people just making the same thing you're making?
Yes
you
and
really
no.
can't, huh?
No, you really can't. And
Okay.
I think that's where
You just got to get over it.
get over it. But
People
I
are
think
going to copy it.
people are going to copy,
Right.
100%. I'm the first to market with the glass cone and wood cone, fulfilled,
Yeah.
with paper,
Right.
to retail in a box. You go to trade shows now, half a dozen to a dozen companies are doing it now.
Right.
Of course, you have your ego, you have your emotional part, like, oh no, but it's going to come.
Yeah.
And for me, I find strength in knowing that I'm the creator.
Yeah.
Like you said, the innovator.
Sure.
I feel I
Right.
am the innovator. So they're only going to have to follow.
Right.
They have to.
Yeah.
These guys that I've met them, they're not what I do. They don't create. They may create, but they're not smokers. They're not in the industry. They're following the heartbeat. I don't even say I'm the heartbeat. I say I'm part of the heart. I'm
Right.
one of the aorta, the little
aorta.
chambers. I'm one of the chambers, I create the part of the people that pioneer and create the movements.
Yeah.
For the glass tips, for hand rolling, one of my other business I started a couple of years ago is called Luxe Roll Bar. We're a professional rolling service, and we pull up to your event, birthday, wedding, anything that you would want professional rolls made on site, in person.
I remember talking to you about that when you were doing that. Oh, that was a great idea.
And
Fantastic.
it wasn't mine.
They've got their
Right.
flour
Right.
on hand, and you're just
Right. We're just a service. We
Right
are
on.
professionals.
How
and
cool is that?
I was hired out because of my name and what I do. People asked me to come roll, and I was after that event. It was nonstop positive chatter. At the end of the show, we're like, when is the next one? When's it happening again? The company that hired us out, we already got paid. He literally opened his wallet at the end of the show. He took out every single bill, handed it to me. He says, "This is not enough. What you did was the highlight of the event." And I was saying, "Hey, Michael, we need to come out with these rolls for your company. You have a license, it's punch extracts. And
right.
you can make pre-rolls. You have a license for it." He's like, "Let's talk Monday." Literally Monday, we had a group call with this team, mine, and we developed a roll. I did their pre-roll consultation. They don't know anything about rolling. Let me consult. Bring it all in. I'll hire you a team. We did the whole format. Everything. So it was really cool that was my first pre-roll consultation job. And
Right.
then we're creating jobs in a lane, a new SKU,
For sure.
and from then it was hit the floor running.
And you could label it with their name on it?
Yeah, it's
with,
white label.
you know,
So
white
the team
label.
works in their
Yeah.
facility.
Right.
They,
Can I show this?
Yeah. And so, but they're rolling things for sale at the dispensaries that you see. That's
Yeah.
already filled, you know.
Right.
And yeah, so that
'Cause
was
that's a huge name.
Yeah, so
You know,
with,
that's not the one we're talking about, is it? No.
right. So with Roll Bar, we go.
You got that one? No.
We
Roll
go
bar.
to. Which one do you want?
Which are the one you were talking about?
Oh, I don't have it here because
Oh, you don't
it's
have
filled
that
with
one.
weed.
Okay. Oh yeah, we can't bring those in.
Yeah.
Here it is.
But,
Yeah.
No, but that was
We'll
the
fill
Luxe
that in
Roll
later.
Bar was born from that, and it was
okay.
nonstop, and it's basically for people to understand. Imagine a pop-up bartending service at any function like you would go to,
Sure.
but instead of alcohol, it's with gloves, with bow ties. We don't use any saliva. It's water brushes, and we're rolling joints, but that look like cannons and cigars, like with glass tip, wood tip, things that you would typically don't roll or smoke. So when you're walking away from that table, you feel very
Luxurious.
exalted and luxurious,
Right.
you know, like very royal experience. And then who's rolling for you, someone like me or part of my team, it's like having a Bobby Flay cook for you in front of you and handing you a dish.
Exactly right.
So it's the flares, it's muscle memory
so
because
cool.
people who I bring on to work with alongside me don't have other jobs. They roll full time, either
Really?
at their own job. So I only want to bring the top of the top. So it's not SEAL Team, it's SEAL Team 6. So that's who I surround myself. So it's very, people want and see that. Of course, they want to, you know, where, you know, other roles have been in magazines or have been awarded, you know, things for their skills. So they're notable people in the industry
Sure.
as well, or are coming up. So we've rolled for rap artists, musicians. I rolled for Mike Tyson, personally requested. We did, Frenchie Montana. Yeah, so it's
The elite.
Yeah, because who are these rappers going to call to come roll for their function?
Exactly, right,
You know,
right.
they're going to call us out because
If they know there's a service,
yeah,
bring
we're the
her
best of the
out.
best. So
Then-
you know, we have other people come out like, wow, how do you know how to roll? Can you roll this? Can you roll this? So yes, we can punch, kick, jump. We can do all of it.
Right,
You know, if
right.
it's blunt rolling, whatever, whatever material,
right.
whatever format you want, a cone, you want a straight, you know.
Sure,
Yeah,
right.
behind the back, we probably could.
You name it.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm, this is a brand that I've used many times, and I think when I see it on the shelf, I think it's probably just a little bit more healthy because it's raw. So they must have a particular paper. Now, you clearly are white labeling that for them. Are you using their products?
100%.
Or okay, yeah.
Right. So with
That's
Raw,
huge.
yeah, I've actually been a Raw ambassador since 2015.
You're a rotten bastard.
Technically, Raw ambassador.
Tell me more about that. I thought I was the only rotten bastard in the room.
Well, back in the day, they wanted to assemble a creative rolling team, a rawling team, they called it, for social media. And they had seen me post something that's never been done before. That's what kind of created my Insta fame. Like, how this all started was I created a square joint. And if you know cigar culture, there's a box press cigar. It looks like a square. It's long, you know, rectangle. And but made with rolling paper. And I posted it, and it was reposted everywhere. I woke up the next day with thousands and thousands of followers. I'm like,
Funny.
oh, people like this. This is cool. And a couple months after that, 2-3 months, Raw came knocking because I had posted Raw papers in my photos.
Oh, cool.
And I just plugged, put them there, and they said, "Hey, we're creating a creative rolling team. Would you like to join?" Of course, I'm jumping up and down. Of course.
Oh, yes.
That was my first and beginning relationship with Raw. Fast forward almost 10 years now. It's gotten deeper. I'm friends with almost the entire HBI, their distribution Raw team. And with the owner, Josh Kesselman, I find him like a mentor to me. He's so immensely intelligent and knowledgeable on paper in the industry. He and the company are wonderful. Raw paper, as far as this product here. So doing what I do, I came and created my cones. And at a trade show, how it all began is I went up to Josh at his booth, and I always say hi and, give him a hug. And he came up to me asking, I wondered, how would you do this on a straight tip? And and I actually just came out with my glass tip cone, which is exactly what he's talking about. I have never shown anyone. I was in my backpack and just kind of just showing it around at the show. And I said, you mean like this? And he's like,
You
yes.
just made it to rock star status.
Like this.
What?
And I said, and then I took the stab because it's just conversation,
Sure.
And I said, so why we should work together.
Yeah.
He's like, we should. And he says, why haven't we? And I said, Josh, I wasn't ready then, but I'm ready now.
Wow.
And that's true.
Right.
I had figured out my logistics. I figured out the boxes. I figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
And he had questions. I told him, no, I figured it out. It took me 6 months in R&D, and this is great. Here,
Right.
take some samples. He called me before the show was over and left me a voicemail. I want your cones. Let's work.
How cool.
I was on a plane to
I'm ready
Arizona.
now. Cool.
Yeah. I wasn't ready then. I'm ready now.
Yeah. How cool.
And it was, and that was the start. And we designed this together, Josh and I.
Nice.
And a little silicone cap. So it's
Where are they out of?
They're out of Arizona. And Raw Paper and Josh, as far as a company, not because I do work with them, but they donate to charities, to Lost Prisoner Foundations projects. They donate to so much, to animals, millions of dollars a year. And there's no other rolling paper company out there that does that.
Yeah.
It actually gives back to the community. Has a foundation called HBI Foundation, but he's built water wells in countries and places of need. I want to say at least 4 to 6, and it's a whole thing because that inspired me. Like, how do I get to a place in my life where I can do that? That's a goal. I really do. Like,
Right.
I'll tell you guys now. I really wanted to create a water well out there for some people, and
Well, that's the thing about
That's
this
inspiring.
podcast.
Yeah.
Once you say it out loud, it's going to get done.
yeah, it's inspiring.
Right.
So
See
I
it
was
over and over again.
asking him, like, hey, we should go in on one. He's like, you should do your own. Like,
Righteous.
okay, yeah, I get it. Let's do my own. But
Yeah.
how do you figure it out? I was like, well, I can connect with my team, but it's really kind of sad to talk about. But the reality is they do a whole calculation, and it's a death number. And it's a number of how many people you could save here versus here. So, if it's near a medical facility, yes, because
Right.
then you can provide clean water to a hospital.
Between the two. Oh, I see. Yeah.
I mean, because there is no clean water there, so
Right.
you could really help the population or the
Really
people
help.
there. So it's hard because when you get to that decision making place, it's like, who do you save?
Just let me throw a dart and
That's-
we'll call it good.
That's so hard. He's like,
right.
yes, it's great, but
But-
there's a flip side to
Exactly,
everything,
right,
That's
right.
wild. I'm like, oh, that's deep.
Yeah. Well, encourage you to get more going.
Yeah, exactly.
know,
Right.
Get more going.
Yeah.
There's no end to it, but
Right.
woo.
So gratitude
So-
is huge, and I love, so I do 2 SKUs with Raw. I am the manufacturer for this DLX cone and DLX cannon, which is deluxe.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's like it's not just a white label. They also put your name on it too.
No, it's not. It's
not.
DLX is theirs. Mine
It's
is
theirs?
Luxe, Luxe. But maybe a little, tongue-in-cheek nod.
Yeah, right.
But
Exactly.
what the coolest thing is the back of that box is he wrote a paragraph about me on the back of
no
the box.
kidding.
Yeah. So usually instead of, hey, this is made here, it's a blurb about me.
Yeah.
And about the Grass Hoppa. That's who I am on Instagram and
Yeah. We'll
where
post
it's
that up.
made and
Remind me to post that up.
yeah, and we're the first for them to make a glass tip cone for them or cannon. So that's very exciting.
That's
and
so cool.
Again, that's very pivotal because I do white labels for cannabis brands, but to do something for
Oh, how
Raw,
neat. Yeah.
it's major to have. I've done collaborations with cookies. I did this blue checkered one with cookies. So you see the blue. I had their blue cookies logo on there, and it was a Luxe Roll cookies collab. It was a short-term release we did in their Maywood store in LA, which is a flagship store. It sold out in a week.
Wow.
Everything I sent. So there's a few pivotal things that help the company is these collaborations. The first one was cookies, and it helps people know, okay, you can play with the big dogs.
Yeah.
And then of course with raw, because then it begets other manufacturers. How much can you make? Can you do containers? Can you fill?
Yeah, right.
Is it 10,
Really?
20-foot containers? What can you do?
Yeah,
20,
right.
40-foot containers? Like, what is it? Yeah, pallets.
Where's the market? Right.
Yeah, how many pallets? So it's...
So are they in a lot of countries now? Or you said Canada and the United States.
Well, raw is split up in basically 3 entities. There's North America. No, I'm sorry, America, Canada, and then Europe.
I see. Right.
So each one is separate in it. It's because it has its language and laws.
Yeah.
So,
Right. It's just being sold in Europe.
Not yet.
Not yet,
I hope
but
soon.
it's on its way.
Yeah. So Canada will be coming. It's on its way, literally.
Yeah.
Within a few weeks. So that's very exciting.
cool.
That took many years. I'm trying to get to the others, and because I've seen it, they're shipping it. Whoever's doing it, and I'll see it in Europe. I'll see it in places, but it's not technically, Yeah. So with the Canada one, it had a little French writing on there,
Oh,
label,
cool.
the laws and what they have.
Yeah.
It's also a little different.
Yeah, I bet you the laws, especially with the laws, I don't know, here they're constantly changing, so it's, it's kind of a nightmare. You need an attorney just to deal with that kind of flower stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Fine here, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy to make empty shells. And,
Exactly, right.
I'm good. I mean, yeah.
I think like Chong or something got in trouble for selling bongs back in the day. Remember? It's like he went to jail for a long time.
Yeah, he went for a
It's like
couple
it wasn't
years.
even weed. It was just bongs.
He had an online paraphernalia store with just glass bongs,
right.
papers, typical stuff. And that was at a time where America was very much into, anti-drugs. And they were,
Right.
The owner of Raw Josh, he was him as well. 4 a.m, guns at his face.
No kidding.
Yeah. Same thing with Tommy Chong in the morning.
Really?
I hear
Did
the
they?
same story, like the dead of the night kind of thing, while you're in bed.
You're going to set an example.
Yeah.
I think that's what it
You
was.
have a bunch of weapons, John. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Don's like, "Psh, whatever.
Yeah. You think it's a drug lord, but it's cannabis.
It's not even that. It's a freaking class.
Yeah.
Crazy. So you're a rock star, huh? Tell me about that.
No.
So you grew up. Tell me about we started. I think we got cut off, and
Sorry.
no, we started talking too early, and we weren't ready. And everything was on. I was like, oh man, did we get that? No. So tell me again. You as a child, you played a lot of piano.
Right.
That's how we started.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was artistic as a kid. So I studied piano from age 5, and I got the bug early on, as a lot of people do. I wanted to become a rock star, and that was my first flame, I call it, and fueled my passion. So all the way through junior high, high school, rock bands, any bands, songwriting, learning different instruments, and in college, I went to junior college. I moved to the Bay Area, went to Foothill College, and just doing gen ed, and I hated it. I wasn't doing what I wanted to do.
Right, sure.
And I was doing coffee shops and gigs at the night and just finding, my community of musicians. And I just told my parents, because very Asian, you got to go 4-year school. Like that is, you can't live life until you do your 4-year school. And I was doing the slow route because I was working and doing that, and they're like, I was the last kid to graduate, and they're like, "Wait," I'm like, I really want to go to music school. I really, 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 really
Want to go to music school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not where I belong.
Right.
And a blessing in disguise is a little sad, as my dad had just passed in that time, and we as a family realized quickly what life is about.
Yeah.
And you know what? We just need to lean into love and support.
Yeah.
And not judge. And I don't care if you're on the street or where you are, but are you happy? Do you need help? I'm here for you. You're
Right.
okay, right? As long as you're not hurting somebody. And we, as a family, went from this very strict kind of, my dad was very much strict, into this falling into a very loving, supportive family.
Right.
Almost overnight, like this little, not a sea change. It was like, we just stuck together stronger, a bit more
right.
loving. It was really crazy. And it's funny because people who are other Asians, they'll meet us or as a family, like, I've never met a family like you guys. Like, you guys are really unique. Like, we're just fun. My brother's a soul surfer. He lives in Hawaii. my other brother he worked in Chicago, kind of half mafioso. He'd call me to him, hey, you need help? You got any problems? I can have someone on a plane. 4 hours, I have someone on a plane and take care of him. Like, no, nothing's wrong. No, I'm good. Like,
don't come.
No, it's nothing, dude. No. Like, I know he's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like,
well, it sounds like your dad was very successful and powerful.
Yeah, I think.
So, I mean, that's got to go with the gene, I'm sure, right?
Right. He was, yes, I think what...
A little bit hardcore, you mean? Or
he was strict. He was a typical strict dad.
Sounds like, yeah.
But what was really cool is my dad was very much a naturist, a photographer. So
oh, cool.
It was all about like Mutual of Omaha, Animal Planet kind of stuff on TV.
What a contrast.
National Geographic monthly subscriptions for my whole life.
Really?
Whole life. And
it's
that
a nature boy.
Yeah, so he'd be out there in the field in the farm with a loop camera looking at little bugs, But yet for him, the strictness, because we had 7 kids in a new country, and this is your opportunity. You don't understand because, he has insight.
Yeah.
You prepare yourself for this opportunity you're given.
Yeah, right.
And to him, he doesn't know better. You go to college, you get a degree, like everyone, thinks. Sure. Then you'll have a good job and family,
right.
A, B, C, D.
Just follow.
So I tried.
Yeah.
And so what was nice that after that point, I came back and asked him, I'm struggling. This is not. I'm not gonna be happy. I don't know what I want to do. I'm keep switching degrees and
just wasting money.
Yeah, and so my mom was like, okay, find a school, we'll help you out.
Yeah,
and that was it. And I found a school in LA. It was internship based in the studio, which I was really trying to. Because, I've been in this music kind of scene for a while, but how do you get in? You always feel like this outlier. Like you're looking this big pane of glass. Like, how do you get into that studio but work in there? Like, how do you get there? And so I found the school, and it was an internship base, and they pair you with a studio owner in the studio, in the city where you want to be. Of course, I'm in LA. Let's go. So I was North Hollywood, found a great place, and that was where I began working as a assistant recording engineer and really trying to, make a career. But then also, that's when I lost my fire. I found out what it really was about. I'm glad I didn't do the 3-4 years of music school, then go into the studio to find out that it's not as pleasant as you thought. It's not the stars.
Was it the engineering? What turned you off?
I was doing assistant engineering, and what it is this is the environment. You're in a soundproof, multiple walled, so you feel very much like a tunnel rat, because you don't feel like there's no light. But because the sound is dead too, so you don't even hear outside sound. So it's really dead, and then for about 8 to 12 hours a day, you're surrounded by sound and emotions from people who are birthing this project. It's like having a baby. And so you're having people having in fights, having just to be this little wall, and okay, I'm sorry. And they're just like, oh,
disappear
outside.
for a little while against the wall.
And then try to manage and mediate the situation as well and complete the project. So a lot of emotions, sound fatigue, environmental. So you're coming in 10 in the morning, the sun's out, and then you might peep out once or twice during the day. That's when I started smoking cigarettes again, because everyone does it. There's lots of drugs, and so you peek out for a few minutes here and there. You come back in, back again, and then 10, 11 o'clock, you're back out. Then you're driving home. No sound on the radio, just driving home. Silence, air, feeling, nature and environments. Sleep, wake up, do it again. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Then on the weekends, go support the bands. Find new bands. And so my passion didn't sustain it. It got dashed because what I felt, this bubble of beauty, wasn't. And then I looked at people who are older than me, 34, 56 years old, like my future, and they didn't look healthy.
Yeah,
they look really ragged. You look at studio people older, and they don't look,
going through the motions.
They, it takes a toll.
Sure.
It takes a toll.
Yeah.
So, I was lost a bit as far as what am I doing in my life, because I lived my whole life thinking this is what I was going to do, or somehow find a home in this industry.
Yeah.
Doing something that I enjoyed.
That you enjoy.
If I didn't make it to the stage or
Right.
as a band member or, whatever I did or songwriter or something. So at the time I was working for a university as well. And that's how I made really good bread. I worked at a university. I worked at the studio. And then internet came stronger and stronger. I lost my job at the school. And my department international department became online. Because it doesn't have international anymore.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, what am I going to do with my life?
Right.
And
one of those turning points.
Of cannabis has always been there. And that's how I stumbled upon. My sister said, hey, look out for my nieces. I was a cool aunt. They're on Instagram now. Make sure they're not getting into anything.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I found cannabis on it. It's 2014. I was like, oh, there's a whole culture here. And I saw an artist called Tony Greenhand make a Spider-Man shaped figurine. Like, whoa, I blew my mind. I was the family stoner roller. I have half my Asian family's probably stoners around the side of the house at Thanksgiving, And I was the one who brought the weed and the cool, like in the simple joints, right? And
me too.
I found that and I'm like, oh, okay. And I had the little closet grow. I've always kind of grown off and on, being in Fresno, farmer's daughter.
Sure.
And I had a closet grow, and I didn't like what I grew, so I just had extra, and I just was creating shapes. And that's when I did the square and this and that, and then like, oh, that's the second flame.
Sure, right.
And it's definitely a flame. I'm very passionate about it. I think people can when they talk to me, and I,
There's some amazing art out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to scrape my brain, but I remember it. I think it was a dragon.
Yeah.
It was like, wow. The wings and everything, are like all cannabis and wrapped. And it was like, you could literally light that thing on fire and smoke the dragon. I'm like, what? Yeah. Back up the truck.
Yeah, I'll send you
art.
some. There's so being who I am, I'm an OG now. They call me an OG. I'm like the queen of rolling. I've been called top 4 rollers of the world. I'm in a book.
Look at you.
I've been in High Times magazine about 3 times, Forbes, Vice. So I've been, in these years, been recognized. And so with my mind just went blank here.
High Times is huge. That's about the pinnacle, right?
It is. Oh yeah. That was, and that's when they're not in print anymore. So no.
Oh, no kidding.
They're no longer in print. It's just digital
that's
now.
a damn shame.
But I was in a print issue.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool is that, right?
2017, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, that was always the cool magazine to look through when we were young.
Right.
Ooh.
Right. But yeah, Tony Greenhand, and I started creating, and that was really the beginning of it all. Yeah.
Good fun.
Yeah.
Right. So what happened to the music? Did you go back to just playing? You must, you're very talented on the piano, obviously.
Right. Now I call it noodling.
You just kind of keep it for your own.
Yeah, just noodle,
Right
just for inspiration, to fill the house with some sound.
Yeah.
And for my daughter, to get her inspired.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really like the songwriting just disappeared. Like it just went, and I think.
Really.
Because my passion literally just changed.
You just went somewhere else.
It really, that flame literally, I don't want to say it died, but really just, it's really.
Well, you needed it for something else.
Yeah. Yeah. And now the fire is burning for this. And, I think being who I am, what I do, I'm trying to influence my field, my culture. We're in its infancy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I take a lot from cigar culture. I don't see why you can't have master cigar makers like master cannabis rollers.
Mm-hmm.
That's pairing. We have, these Partagas, these 100-year-old brands of cigar manufacturers who are these master cigar rollers and pairs of leaf. And why can't we do that?
Exactly.
100%.
I love cigars.
Yeah.
Going to the cigar room.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Me too.
And it's, and I don't, I have some of my favorites, but I'm always looking for, what's new?
Yeah.
What's that all about? Oh, I never seen that one with a blue label on it. Let me try that one.
Yeah.
Oh, let me try this
cool.
one. Oh, that one looks way too dark. I'm passing that one,
Yeah.
And you should have that.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll come
We
to
should
that.
go to the other cigar place. That'd be
right
cool.
on.
Yeah, I love just spending time
Yeah.
in a room and just enjoying
Yeah.
and reading and looking. Yeah, it's
I was telling the guy, a buddy of mine that owns, the big old smoke shop down the road. And I was like, oh, you got to check out these new products. I had no idea that you were this far.
oh
I was like, help her get started. You know, if she's getting something going, I had no idea that you were, oh my God, whoops.
yeah. Oh,
But
dude,
yeah,
Oh.
he's got his own cigar
nice.
room, you know, in the back. And,
Oh, that's good.
And
I'll bring
it's
a box
just
from
so
the house.
many.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my first time that we actually made the scale rolls. Here's a funny story. You know, we bought the tubes, the thing. I did not make a box. I didn't make a retail box. And my buddy sent over thousands, 20, 50,000 rolls in bags. And I'm huffing it to stores in bags.
Right.
And one of my first shops was a Marina Spirit Smoke Shop. And I came in there with a bag, all proud. He's like, you got a box? I'm all, oh, shh.
Yes, I do. I'll be right back.
It's coming. Oh, don't worry, I'll just put them in here. So he puts them in another brand's box.
Sure,
and just,
right.
I made the sale, but man, I get back to my partner. And it's funny because now, you know, when we have issues and I try to lighten up our conversation, like,
Sure.
hey, at least I didn't come out with, bring it in a bag.
Yeah,
You
right,
know, 'cause
truly,
it's like,
right.
we just chuckle because, oh my God,
It's like,
what?
why didn't I think of that?
That's so,
Right?
that's
an
what I'm
idiot.
saying. No one's done this. I don't come from a manufacturing background of
I
making
know,
cones.
right? That's
you
why I
know,
wanted to
like,
talk to you about
I'm
this
just
kind
a
of stuff.
stoner trying to make something cool, and I have a cool idea. And
But what a place for your
know?
advertisement, too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
duh, what was I thinking? I could put my
Yeah.
name on it. and
Again,
everything.
don't be afraid. Just start.
Just do it.
You'll figure it out.
You'll
So
come
we made
across many
boxes.
mistakes.
Months later, I'm literally in my sister's garage with my 70-year-old auntie, my 5
can
brothers and
see it.
sisters.
That's awesome.
I have photos, and we're all just pack
Right.
into the boxes.
Making
And
'em-
I'm trying to shrink wrap. You know, I'm learning about shrink wrapping.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like-
There's so many little things and steps.
yeah, yeah.
I'm so proud of you. That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So many obstacles
Yeah.
that could be like just defeating.
Yes.
You know.
It is.
like
And
I'm
it's
such an
thankful that you
idiot.
have these little level ups, these little
Yeah.
pivotal points that,
Right.
like, no, you should keep going. You know, if someone's telling you, keep going. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Right.
Right. And it's hard. This environment's tougher now. There's more people in the market, you know.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's trying to cash in on the craze, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's so volatile. It goes back and forth. So
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I just saw a guy on the internet. He was just like, I just did 30 years for carrying a pocket full of weed. And he turns around and there's this huge billboard. Get your weed, you know, or whatever. This huge, you know. It's just like, wow, the world has changed.
Right.
You
Oh,
know.
gosh. There's stories. I mean,
It's crazy.
one seed, 4 years in Oklahoma.
Those are the kinds of things, those are
One
the rumors.
seed in the trash. They were looking for anything.
Right. In the trash. Wasn't
In the
even in the
trash.
shoe or anything.
Yeah. They usually burn everything. And that one time they just threw some
Yeah.
and end up in the trash.
Right.
And that's what they got him for seed.
Yeah.
And this is a really cool story. His best buddy took the rap for it because he had 2 kids. He took his time.
Wow.
It's like, you're a family man. I'm single. I was like, pfft, heart. What a, right? That's solid. That's
right,
beyond
right.
solid,
No
you know.
shit.
Right. That's the stories you hear out there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
For a seed, like that's not even fair.
Yeah.
Like I'm never even gonna let you take that hit.
Yeah. It's like, we're partners. We're doing this together.
Right.
And you have 2 kids. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Love stories like that.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
humans out there that are awesome.
Right.
If you stop watching the news, there's
Right.
cool people out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
How's everything else going? You got like a 9-year-old or something, don't you?
She's 8, almost
She's
9 in
8?
December. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So great is that?
She's
6 or something.
it's awesome. She's doing a little pivoting change from you know wonderment child to like attitude. So it's hard to adjust to that and
Sure,
not be mean or angry mommy. I have to tell you, cannabis has made me a much better parent.
For sure.
I am present and I'm much kinder, and I'm much more understanding.
Sure.
For sure. Not that I'm blitz all the time, but boy, if
Yeah.
I'm going to level 10, like, let me step out of the house and take a breather and just And then I'm back. I'm like, okay, I'm not that mad anymore.
Just
and
one or
let
two,
me
right.
communicate a little more evenly and not reactively.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's gummies and all kinds of different stuff they're using now. The gummies myself, they're too much for me.
Yeah.
It's
It's different because your body's absorbing it through ingestion and through your fat.
Is it?
Yeah, versus a blood, through your blood quick.
Right. Just grew up on the
It
flowers.
metabolizes it differently.
Does it? Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
And it makes me jittery, makes me wired as opposed to mellowed out,
That's different.
Yeah.
Usually just knocks people out.
Does it?
Yeah.
The brownies do that.
Oh, okay.
Those brownies. One too many brownies, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to sit here for a minute.
Right. Maybe that's how they're made for you. Huh.
No, just like smoking it.
Yeah.
Just always like smoking it.
Yeah, likewise.
But I'm 39 years sober, so
Oh, wow.
it's nice to have
Congrats. Yeah.
something, right. I can't do the alcohol.
Right.
Makes me break out in handcuffs, I always tell people.
It has that effect on some people. You get a DUI or you're in a ditch somewhere on the ground.
Exactly. Sitting in behind the bars going, what? Dang it.
Yeah.
Again?
Well, with cannabis is, I don't know, a lot of people know that it's not physically addictive, meaning your body doesn't go through withdrawal and crave it, where you go through the sicknesses of other withdrawals with,
Sure.
even alcohol, of course. You can die from alcohol
Yeah.
withdrawal when you drink an intense amount.
Sure.
But yeah.
I think if I don't smoke for a while, because I've been smoking so long, my body doesn't know how to regulate it.
Right.
So I think I would need to take a minute to get off of it if I was going to, like somewhere out in the woods.
Right.
Or not around humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also your
Just
brain's
like
craving it.
cigarettes
Your
or
brain
anything
wants
else.
that,
It's a
so it's
habit.
psychological wanting it, but you're
Right,
physically,
right.
your body's like going through a withdrawal or sweats or
right.
necessarily.
DTs or nothing like that.
like
right.
a detox or
Right.
We're born with cannabinoid receptors.
I know that. Right.
Literally receptors that are made for cannabis. Advil doesn't do that. Tylenol, prescription drugs do not have a natural pathway in our body to absorb it. We're born with higher levels of cannabinoids. It is believed that's why infants regularly go back to sleep. And it decreases as you age. So then, to me, that's how I rationalize it. Your body is, that's how your body's,
We've been using this stuff a long time.
yeah.
I wonder
It's
if they were
in our
eating
DNA.
it. I wonder why I wonder why they must have used it as a food source or something for it to be that much.
Right. Some people say it's from the animals or food sources that we ingest.
right.
Like horses are eating it, and then or cows or
Yeah.
goats.
Right. Just evens it out. I think either Cheech or Chong was saying when he got thrown in jail, he got cancer. It was like, because I wasn't allowed to smoke any weed. Wow.
Right.
It was like, he's like, I don't know for sure, but that's, all of a sudden, boom, they made me quit smoking, and then boom, all of a sudden, I don't know, it was a throat cancer or whatever.
Right.
I was like, I blame them. He's a comedian, of course, he's joking around, but he might be a little bit serious,
I mean, I feel like all my brothers and sisters have correctional vision. I do not. I'm close to there. I'm older now. But, I mean, they've had us in their 20s.
Really?
And I've been, pretty much a cannabis user since my teens. So
Right.
I feel personally it's in there,
I'm the healthiest of them all.
Yeah.
Ask
At
me
least it's helped
anytime.
my ocular vision with the pressure. But
What else you got coming out? Anything new coming out, or anything we need to plug? Or
yeah. Well, what's coming out? I have a white label brand that's coming out.
Okay.
It's called the White Collection, and so usually right now companies contact me and I'll make a custom for them.
okay,
And what I found out is like I need to build it and they will come versus waiting for them to come.
right,
That's always been my kind of thing. Like build it first and they will come. Like
right,
kind of like the thing when I talked to Josh to get my deal with Raw, I didn't tell him about a cone I was going to make. I had it on me.
I know that was.
It was ready to go.
That was fate.
Right. And I tell people, build it, make it. Don't tell people a concept because they'll half listen because it's a dream.
Right.
It's a thought that you did, but it's not theirs, right?
Right.
So make it reality as much as you can. I mean, these,
Yeah.
it helps.
So a company can call you up, say, I'm Can of Boneheads, we want to make our own, but we want it to label Can of Boneheads, Yeah, you can do that.
We can do it in,
okay.
smaller increments.
Right
and
on.
I always say that we do it from a naked product, meaning there's no branding, to fully dressed, meaning it's in a retail box in shrink wrap.
And it's made to sit on a shelf. It's got the cuts on it, so you can actually set it on there. You don't have to sell it a box at a time.
Right, preferably.
Right.
Right. So I'm coming up with my
That's
own
pretty. Looks
set
great.
of pre-made cones that's unbranded.
Okay.
That you can pack yourself and stick your own label if you wanted to.
Okay, right.
So if you were a small company and you didn't have to deal with my minimum order quantities, or you just want them quickly, you don't want to wait.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much buying what I'm already offering anyways. That's how you found me. You want that, but you're a brand. So I'm making it ahead of time. And what's happening is next Friday and Saturday, 2021 in Santa Rosa, there's an event called Hall of Flowers.
Okay.
It's a really big event for our industry. And what it's aimed as, it's a B2B, so business to business. There are brands that are showcasing their products to buyers, dispensary owners, distribution people, and usually it's not open to the public, and it's really meant for you to go and buy. Where do you find cookies, and how do you find them to buy? If you're a store down in, deep somewhere, like, oh, this is where you go, and then you get to meet everyone else there. So I am presenting my new line there for these brands, hoping that they want to maybe potentially have a pre-roll. You're a cannabis brand, maybe you want to use mine. And then also, for the first time ever, we're creating Roll University. And this is becoming a thing. I've been called out to teach more and more. I go to Harding in Las Vegas and different places, and I'm teaching people how to roll. So I've created a full-day format for both days. On top of every hour, we're having roll classes. Everything from beginners to creatives to rolling blunts. I have a master cigar maker coming out there to do the whole thing with the blade and the rolling with the parchment paper. Yeah, just a real, like you see this on the gram, but we're calling every professional roller that we can to come out to meet and greet with the people, but also educate and just not be on the clock, not be behind a chair like this, to be, and maybe, learn and teach and just community.
Meet people and make connections. And,
right.
Yeah.
A lot of people say about me is that I don't gatekeep, I don't or control or try to like just be me. I'm very much into community, not sharing, but showcasing. If I've been given this light, little spotlight, and I'm happy to help shine a spotlight on people that I think or have awesome, too. Why not? I don't see why people have, I'm just going to hold this over here. Because I think if I spread myself this way, that they will equally, the karma effect. I really believe in karma effect, and it does.
The weed community it's changed since the legalization. It's drawn in different types, You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about. I don't know. We were all just so kind to each other.
Right.
And now there is that factor of
it brought in business. There's a
business, I guess. Unfortunately,
there's what the community call chads, which are the suits that don't smoke. It's very easy. Do you smoke? You're like, no. Oh, okay. We kind of know. Like, what are you doing here? Know, right? Do you even do gum? No. Like, okay. So you have the suits, and then you have the legacy farmers, which are very much, they're really in a way they're really trying to keep theirs, and then you have the gangster element too, there's, because there's cannabis smokers on all of the elements, so they're all coming into the marketplace trying to work. So there is, what we know as, the hippie flower, or, it's a broader world out there.
I remember hanging out at the grocery store parking lot trying to meet somebody. What are you driving, man? And buy a bag, and it's just terrible, and it's half seeds, and we had a Frisbee under our seat, and shake it out and break up all this, and all the seeds would roll out of it as you were, if you remember how we used.
I remember coffee
and
can
it was
weed.
just dirt weed. It was dangerous. We had to go in snowstorms and go meet somebody somewhere, some sketchy ass joint. It's just like, so I'm not complaining about the suits.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'm standing in a dispensary going, wow, I can't even believe that I'm here and and it's all legal and it's all, I'm still kind of in there looking over my shoulder. It's just, you can't help it.
It's wild.
Right?
I love when I go in dispensaries and I see, like 60 plus people in there.
Right.
I love it. And I'm
Age
standing in
or,
line.
or amount of people?
No, 60-year-olds old.
Old, yeah,
and older,
right.
I just love it. And I'm always like, what are they buying? Like, what are you getting? Topical, gummy, smoke? What is it? But there's always at least one or two, I was at a dispensary in Carmel, very nice high end. I'm in the little shopping center there. There's two there, but I forget the name. And I was buying a topical there. I was sent there to buy a cream for somebody that, that said it was really good. And I went in there and I asked him a million questions, like, who's your clientele? Like, what's your top sellers? I always wondered these things.
Right.
And he was literally like, no one comes here that pretty much is under 40.
Okay.
And 90% of the clients do some type of edible.
Really?
Yeah. Because I saw Concentrates only had one brand, like 2 products. I'm like, that's all you have?
Yeah.
Like, we have no clients for that. We just have it because we have it and we have to. But half their retail is drinks, gummies, chocolates.
Okay.
And then the rest would be topical and salves.
Right.
And it's, I would say and I would watch people come in very nice older cars and older people set. And I'm just like, wow. Like, I would never imagine, like, sitting in a restaurant in Carmel and looking around how many people there would be enjoying cannabis.
Yeah.
Not even realizing, but that
Wouldn't
they
think
are.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't imagine, but they are.
Right. They would really look down if they knew I was high.
Right.
Nope, they're probably all high, too.
Exactly. That's why I was like, whoa.
Don't judge.
Exactly. This is 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I love our community and our town for how we feel about cannabis, because I always feel that it's education.
Yeah.
I think in this area we are more educated, or we have a semblance of it, because with that comes understanding.
Yeah.
And appreciation, of course. But, my wife's a nurse and we know other nurses, and they go, she was at one time working with VNA, Visiting Nurses Association. She would go do house calls, and she would check on you after your surgery, your treatment, so you don't have to go back in the hospital.
Right, yeah.
Right? You don't need to go.
In home, yeah.
Yeah, so you can do these things. They can come out and take care of you. And always on the questionnaire, like, what do you do? And lo and behold, easily 30%.
No kidding.
Cannabis.
Right.
And, people she would never expect.
Because of that factor of it just mellows them out.
It's just
anxiety.
Sometimes it's sleep.
Okay.
A lot of times it's sleep.
Helping
A lot of times it's could be appetite. And just exactly the mellow, or not I won't say mellow, but just it makes them feel better.
Right.
More at ease and more relaxed.
Yeah.
They can eat, or it's more comfortable.
Remember somebody told
pain
me that,
as well.
Yeah, for cancer, people were using marijuana because they were getting the munchies. And I've known enough people that have gone through cancer, and they just come apart. They're so skinny and everything. I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
Right.
Get them high, get them so they want to eat.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like phenomenal.
Or,
I don't know if that works, but that was the idea.
You already have pain.
Right.
This is natural. Your body's not rejecting it.
Sure.
And so you maybe have a pain level 7. Of course, it's not going to go to 0. Nothing does that.
Right.
But it'll take it down a few notches where it's tolerable.
Exactly.
It's okay. You can cook dinner now. You can move. You can get there. It's all right. And who wouldn't want that? But yet, you're not checked out. So if you take that pharmaceutical drug, you're on the couch. No one's making dinner for your family that night.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You feel less pain, same maybe pain level, toleration, but you're not functioning, or you're not really present.
Yeah.
But with cannabis, you can do a CBD 50-50 ratio blend where you're not, you don't have, you can self-prescribe. You're not like having to take 100 million, so you can just be a little.
Yeah.
Or whatever level you need.
Right.
Right. And you're still present. You can still talk on the phone. You're not like, oh.
Right. Saying stupid shit. Right?
Yeah. But yet you feel better. Your body's not in pain as much.
Right.
Yeah.
As a massage therapist, I know there was a time people were bringing in a lot of lotions with CBDs. Does this help? And it's like, I don't think so. I don't know enough about it. It's like, it's not like a topical would get through your epidermal.
I'm gonna bring you something.
Yeah. So I've never really looked into it. So it's like, I'd rather just give a regular massage and see how that does first without messing with any other kind of topical thing. I don't know if you want to get done with a massage, you want to go home and do that on your own.
Right.
I just don't know enough about it.
Right.
Because I know as I was trained, those topical things, it heats your muscle. It goes deep, and it's like, no, it does not. If it went any further than 7 or 8 layers in your epidural, you'd die.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
it might feel hot, but it's not getting deep. It's not actually getting into your bloodstream or anything.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I don't know. I have to study up on that more.
Right, exactly. It's the largest organ, but it is topical, and you can't OD on any of these things. So you can literally reapply every 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I think they did a study where you have to smoke 5 pounds in 2 hours for you to actually get deceased unalive, but that's impossible. These are impossible limits.
Yeah.
I have recently, I use topicals. I have pain from musicians that time, and I'm always trying to find something that work.
Yeah.
And I'll drive. Like I said, I'll drive places to find what, and I'll spend the money. I finally found something, but it makes sense scientifically. And I'll bring it by, and I'll bring 2 by, and I'll do a blind test for you. I won't tell you which one's which.
There you go.
And what it is that it use what's the term for a mushroom? Psilocybin. But how fungus are able to penetrate. There's a language for that.
Yeah. I probably heard it on Joe Rogan before, but
basically fungi, through centuries are able to permeate all types of membranes, trees from the ground, and get through to the rich structure of the original host or whatever, and become symbiotic with it. That's the only thing in this world that's able to do that. And so they're using this tech to put into medicine. So what I'm trying to get at with this is with the CBD cream is that they're using this mycelium technology.
That sounds familiar, actually.
To actually penetrate those barriers.
I see.
Instantaneously. So for me, within 30 seconds, 15 even, I feel relief.
Really?
I've never felt that.
It's not in your mind. You can literally,
I'm going to do a blind test with you.
Yeah, that's why.
And you tell me.
Okay.
And then, if you have pain or, whatever you think you might be able to feel or test it on weight here.
There's
so
many amazing
but for me, it's a game changer. But it makes sense scientifically.
Right.
Okay, that's why. Because before, it would take a while.
Yeah.
An hour maybe on set for me to feel, because it's still having to get in, go through my bloodstream and then absorb.
Right.
Yeah.
I need you to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Learn me.
Yeah. I'll just bring it by, then we'll talk after. Yeah, it'd be cool.
You're awesome. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. This has been fun.
I had a blast.
Thank you.
We learned so much.
Thank you. Likewise. Thanks. I mean, it's just really, really cool. I love, our town and I'm a lifer here now. It's,
right.
So whatever I can do to,
Yeah, I was thinking you were living out of town, but I saw you at the store the other day. Hey, what's up? So you must be living here.
I live real close. I live right by the By Right.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right here in Monterey.
Not too close. I mean, not too far at all. Just right past the school.
Got to live by the ocean. Can't get too far away.
No.
You were in the heat too long.
No. No. My wife is a pretty bad asthmatic, so her requirement is always to live by the ocean.
She's a medic?
No, she's a nurse. She's an RN.
Would you say she was
She's asthmatic.
Oh, asthmatic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But a heavier one.
She's manic? Like,
no.
Say that online? What?
No, so her doctor has always prescribed, you just got to stay close to the ocean or you just have more episodes. So
Right.
I'm not complaining.
Well, I hear so much bad stuff. People living out in farms, out there, there's so much rolling dust, and there's just nice, fresh air blowing off the ocean most of the time. So I can totally see that.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Hope you got some value. Hit the like button. Subscribe.
Thanks, guys.
Love you guys. See ya.